Green Bay Packers at the Tennessee Titans. Titans need a dub, but Packers, man, they look. Jordan Love goes down week one. You go, oh boy, that's it. This is tough. Who
Yeah.
knows? And they bounce back in a big way in week two. So, what do you think about this one? Matchup that matters. What do you got?
Yeah, it's the Green Bay offensive backfield. I'm not just going to limit it to Josh Jacobs because we saw so many different guys carry the ball for the Green Bay Packers in that game last week against the Tennessee linebackers. Whoever decides to contend with that, it's really hard when you get Jane Reed out into space to keep up with him. And that's going to be something that I think that the Green Bay Packers continue to do if Malik Willis is the one that starts. We did see that Jordan Love is practicing for the second straight day today. I still think that you're
Right.
a little cautious with Jordan Love because you know that you're going to need him for the long run. And when you are able to scheme up solutions like Matt LaFleur is for your offense and still put points on the board, still be productive against like this is a Tennessee defense that is, I think, really underrated too. I talked about that even in week one with that defensive front going against the Chicago Bears. It's not an easy time. But if Matt LaFleur has these solutions for these guys, why not use them one more week? So, especially if you can get everybody involved in the ground game, not only, like I said, Josh Jacobs, but you had Jaden Reed, who had 2 rushes for 37 yards last week. You had even Bo Melton, who had like carried the ball. And it's one of those things where Green Bay has so many weapons that have a variety of skill sets that you can just do so many different things. So, can those Tennessee linebackers keep up with what Matt LaFleur wants to do on offense? And then Malik Willis can pick his spots. And I mean, we saw him make a couple really good throws when he wasn't forced to be the guy.
Right.
And again, which no one can blame him for. I mean, I know that we haven't seen great things out of Malik Willis, but thus far in his career. But at the same time, this is a guy that got there at the end of training camp for the Green Bay Packers. He's not familiar with their scheme. So this is something completely different that Matt LaFleur is running than what he was planning on doing with Jordan Love. And it's working. So we'll see. I'm very curious to see what they end up doing with Jordan Love and if Malik Willis does indeed start this game.
Yeah. You look at Willis's stat line last week. 12 for 14, 122 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. I mean, they just didn't ask of him a lot in the passing game. And I think that's because they were able to run the ball so well. And I
So
think that
well.
it's a hat tip to what you said and sort of the creativity of how they were able to do that. But, at the same time, Josh Jacobs, 32 carries, like that just doesn't
Yes.
happen very often in today's NFL. And they were like, no, you're the workhorse. And he still had a
This is why we brought
4.7.
you here.
No, it 100%. That was this is why we brought you here game. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, we think that we could give you a large carry load at certain points during the season when we need it. They definitely need it from him. And, Jordan Love goes down, Malik Willis comes in. You mentioned, he doesn't even come until the end of training camp. The Indianapolis Colts knew what the Packers were going to do. They were going to run the football, right? You have a rushing quarterback, a dual threat quarterback, and then you bring in Josh Jacobs. Like, that's what the Packers were going to do. And the Colts have a pretty good defensive line, and yet they couldn't stop it. And I think it's less of a indictment on the Colts defensive line. And I think it's
Yeah.
actually more of a, hey, kudos to what the Packers offensive line was able to do. In week two, they had the third most yards before contact in the NFL. So, like, sure, Josh Jacobs, give him the golf clap. Obviously, it's a great week for him, high production. Third most yards before contact. That means the boys up front are doing their job. They also had the fifth best pass blocking grade. So not only did they do well in the run blocking game, they also did very well in the pass blocking game, 79.1 overall as a team. Right now, they are first in the NFL in rushing yards with 427 and first in rushes of 10 or more yards with 14. So kind of to your point, what LaFleur is doing in the backfield is sort of becoming their identity. And we went into this season, and I know it was the craze of fantasy football, all talking about, receivers, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, like what all these guys, what are they going to do in the passing game? You got Tucker Kraft, you got Luke Musgrave. What are they going to do in the pass game? The potential is endless. And really, Packers' identity is running the football right now. I know Jordan Love hasn't come back and he's been out, but right now that they are a rushing football team and they're doing it damn well. So I think that's certainly something that you've got to monitor versus the Titans' run defense, which ranks 31st in the league as in total PFF grade in that category at a 39.8. So another right matchup for them to play very well. But what's your plus factor in this game?
I'm going to go to the other side of the ball for Green Bay, and it's Kenny Clark because we saw what he was able to do against the Colts. He's able to get pressure from the interior, and that is the easiest way to get pressure on a quarterback is right up the middle. You've got the least amount of space to go before you hit him. Um, he's Packers leader in pressure. He's got 7 pressures, and then followed by Devontae Wyatt. You see right there, 6 pressures right behind him. So you have this interior defensive line for the Green Bay Packers that is making life easy on guys like Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith. They switched to this 4-3 defense under Jeff Hafley, and that is exactly what you need. You need pressure from the interior when you have those 4-man fronts. So that's going to force Will Levis into some bad situations. He's got the 5th worst passing grade when under pressure, ranks 28th in passer rating when he's under pressure, NFL passer rating when he's under pressure. So that's going to lead to some turnovers. That's going to lead to some extra chances for this Green Bay offense. And that's going to stop some drives for the Tennessee Titans and, stop them from putting any points on the board, which is exactly how this defense can help out its offense if Jordan Love is again still out. Even if he's in, you don't want to put too much on him. You don't want to make him go out there and have to score 40 points in this game. So not that we haven't seen that from Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans quite yet. But the surefire way to win this game is to limit the points and run the football. And that's what they're going to try to do.
Yeah. Coming off a sprained MCL, even if Jordan Love goes out there and plays, Jordan Love is my plus factor in this game because it's every definition of the term plus factor is like if Jordan Love can play, I agree with you. I don't think that he's throwing for 300 yards or anything, but they're going to continue to run the ball. They're going to make that their bread and butter this game, especially because, like I said, the Titans' defensive line so far through the season tells you that they're weak in that area. You're going to do that until they can stop you. And then if they can stop you, if Love is in there, you're hoping that he just gives you a handful of passes to continue to keep drives going, convert on 3rd down, get into scoring position, those kinds of things. So Jordan Love, for as good as he played at the end of last season, has to be the plus factor. If he goes, even if he is not quite 100% what he was last season, you got to have faith that he can make a couple of throws that'll get you the win on the road in Tennessee.